Calling are unbearable. Fool, idiot, I managed to marry your type. You are not my ideal man. I will soon leave you and marry another suitable man. Hey my darlings, you're welcome to my channel. This is Liz Centra and I have this beautiful story for you today. So sit, relax and enjoy. I wish to share my family story with you all. My story is heartbreaking, the story of my late father. He was all I got. His death took the most deepest part of me. The very minute he was laid to rest, nothing means the world again to me. Daddy, know that wherever you are, your daughter misses you, and in my next world, you'll always be my father. My father underwent a lot in the hands of my mother, though I have not seen her since 9 years ago when I got married. Me seeing her after I left on the day my daddy was buried, I packed and left. Seeing her again was on my wedding day. I've forgiven her, but she will neither get close to me or my children. Not in this life. Yes, men get abused, and my father was one man who endured till he gave up. I am the first child of my parents. My father was a bank manager. He was always a provider. He provided everything we needed. Whatever my mom says, he does without asking what she needs the money for. She tortured him. Not 1 minute of peace. As little as I was, I can recall she slapping my daddy on different occasions. When he questioned her on where she went, my father believed in the sanity of marriage and he does not want a separation because of the kids. My daddy's work is very demanding. From his work, he will pick us up from school when my mom is at home sleeping. It got to a time he was almost sacked and he found a driver for us, though he was trying to save costs by coming to pick us himself. Once he got home, he will bat us and my mom will still be on phone talking to her friends, and my father will go to the kitchen and start cooking whatever we eat. If I start remembering what happened when we were small, I will put a bullet to my mother's skull. When my daddy finished cooking, my mom will be the first to go take her food and eat. I came across my dad washing clothes one day and I saw my mom's bras and panties in it. That was when I took over the washing at 13 years old and relieved my father of that. My mother preferred to go out with friends than stay at home with us on weekends. So my daddy always stay at home, do our homework, and try to clean up every weekend. Even in school, when parents' meeting will be called, my father is the person who comes. The school barely know my mom. I grew up knowing what womanhood was from my daddy. He taught me all I know. My daddy so much love to my mom that whenever he goes out, he will find something to buy for her to make her happy. Sometimes she says thank you and sometimes she doesn't. The name calling are unbearable. Fool, idiot, I managed to marry your type. You are not my ideal man. I will soon leave you and marry another suitable man. She killed my daddy's pride. She ridiculed his ego. Sometimes my father cries in his heart whenever I'm around for me not to see. After my coming, my mother stayed 5 years before my twin siblings came. My father became a ghost of himself. The torture was painful. My mother had her separate room, so she sleeps there often with the twins. Me and my daddy sleeps on the same bed. Sometimes I wake up, I will look for him, but we see him on my mother's door, kneeling down, asking her to open the door for him. As small as I am, I will go and kneel with him, asking to get up and go to sleep. Sometimes he kneels down at the Blessed Sacrament altar in our house to cry because my daddy is a staunch Catholic. He will cry till he's tired. My mom detests my daddy's people with passion, so no one near our house at all. I've asked her severally what they did. She said nothing, just that coming to scatter the wealth that she has suffered for. She slapped me at 14 years old when I asked her what wealth, that she has not been a housewife. So where is the wealth? That is only my daddy that is making the money. The slap she gave me landed me on the floor. My mother never for once go to the market to buy me bra. My father did. One day I asked my dad, how did you and mommy meet? He said he met her back in the university days when the man who promised her marriage disappointed her and married her friend. That my mother is acting that way because of betrayed trust. I told him even at that, she shouldn't transfer aggression to you who is innocent. My daddy said they courted for 9 months before he married her. My mother's friends, who are always in our house when my daddy is away, drinking and dancing in front of us. Sometimes my mother asks us to leave when my daddy is not at home. I've never had a peaceful childhood. I started cooking at 14 to help my father. My grandmother came just once and visited. The cold reception my mother gave her was nothing to write home about. She served her cold food. I was the one who went to warm it for her. When I brought it back for her, she said she has lost her appetites. When I was 16 years old, I was molested by my secondary school teacher. Telling my mom, she said, go talk to your father. I waited for my father to return before I complained, and he took the case up till the teacher was sacked. My 2 twin brothers took the full stool of my mom. One is in Nigerian prison for rape, and the other one is surviving with his plumbing job. When he found out that robbing people of their property isn't safe anymore, that he can be caught and sent to jail, so he learned plumbing work. The kind of disturbing names my mom shouts on my daddy, it's not funny. I thank God that people knew he was a great man. The 2-story building at my mother's place was built by my father. Yes, he loves my mother beyond repair. He took all she did as if it was nothing. Then thorn kept piercing in his heart. I refused going to boarding school just to stay close to my father. When I finished school, I got into the university, and my father had stroke at 54 years old. That was the period I vowed never to have a mother. She left my daddy to our mercy. All she does is to ask him how he's doing and tell him that he smells sometimes. For 2 years, I did not concentrate in school till my father recovered. That period, my mother's late night was something else. It got to a time her own mother called and told her she's ashamed to call her daughter. Then what is wrong with her? She then transferred the aggression on me, saying I'm the one telling her mother what she's saying. I thank God my father healed, and I sat him down with his friend to tell him to speak up, that he has tried to condole a lot. My father spoke up very late, almost at the point of death. My university education was badly affected. My brothers got into the university, joined cults, and got eradicated from school. My mother fought to bribe her way to help them. My final year was when life lost meaning to me. My father called me saying he's feeling as if his breathing is not normal. My mother traveled to their house, saying she wants to attend her sister's daughter's wedding. After the wedding, she stayed like 1 whole week, leaving my father and our nanny, an older lady she brought to help keep the house neat because we are all in school. I rushed home, saw my father. He was looking healthy, but I noticed he was fighting it hard to breathe. I asked the nanny to help me take him down the staircase. Let me bring the car keys. I can drive, my father taught me. We got to the hospital. His BP was terribly high. He was admitted. I picked up a phone to call my mother. My father said I shouldn't bother. I got angry, left his side, left the room to call my mother, asking her how she left home and never cared to check up on her husband. She said, "Isn't the nanny there to take care of him?" That was her question. I just got angry and I switched off the phone. She later came after 3 days to the hospital, but the next day my daddy was discharged. So we got home and my exam was the next 2 days. My last exam before my defense. I instructed the nanny on what to do, and she shouldn't hesitate to call me once my dad started getting worse. I immediately left and went back to school. On the day we started exam was the day my father died. I felt it in the morning because my flower vase fell all the way from the center of the table. My water gallon broke. 4 years I have used it till that day. The one that got me mad was my exam card. I looked for it till I got tired, not knowing I was wearing it inside my shirt. My dad died in the morning. When I finished writing my exam, I started calling my daddy's phone. He did not pick up. I called our nanny. She said she left our house yesterday to see her mother, who called that she was sick. I picked phone, called my mother, and she said my dad is fine, and she gave him food in the morning before leaving the house, and she will soon leave her friend's place to the house. I wasn't comfortable, so I left school immediately, saying once I see my father's health, I will rush back to school and start preparing for my next paper. When I got home, my mother was not yet back. My brother was downstairs smoking. I asked about my daddy. He said he should be in his room. I was singing, climbing the stairs, dropped my bag, went to meet him where he is lying. His eyes were closed, so I tapped him to tell him I am around. He never responded. I pushed him to know if he can wake up. No way. When I started shouting, my brother came upstairs, and I ran out to call my father's brother, and they confirmed him dead. We took him to the doctor. He said it's been long. He died. Life lost its meaning for me. I did not know what I was doing. I carried my daddy's head up to my lap. I cried my life out. I was like, life, why? God, why me? I was really in pain. I couldn't breathe. My chest was heavy. I was crying and crying. My mother came back when we brought my daddy's corpse back from the hospital, thinking of which mortuary to take him to. When my mommy was crying, people that knew her did not even pay attention to her. They never looked her way. My father died in pain and agony. Life was so unfair to him. He was tortured to death. It was only God who wrote my exams for me, because I can't understand anything anymore. After my daddy's burial, I packed to go live with my grandparents. I stayed with my grandparents till I got married. My father was a victim of abuse. He died loving my mother. I'm married, and I want to love my husband till death. I have kids, and I will train them responsibly. My mother has fought to see me, but all to no avail. My husband asked me to let go, but all I told him was he will never understand, because he never walked in my shoe. I was touched to go see my brother at the prison. He was so ashamed of himself. Life taught him a lesson the hard way. Central, I just want to share this story to you to let you know that a lot of men are abused daily, but they don't want to speak up. Yes, my father was one. Millions are still out there. So right now, I rest my pen here, Lead Central, and thanks for sharing my story. And thank you for bringing your story to my channel. I appreciate everyone for listening, and please don't forget to subscribe and share and like, and I'll see you in my next one. So peace out. Love you guys. Bye.